All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, day number 2 at Washington State Summer Con.
Yes, it's so good.
Joined by the amazing creator of
The legendary
Kevin Eastman.
The Ledge, they call me the Ledge.
The ledge, Kevin Eastman.
It's a joke.
No,
Creator of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice to be here. Pleasure to be here with you guys. It's awesome. So super excited to be up here in Washington State. We were supposed to do the show originally in 2020, so
We all know what happened.
yes.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
happened? Yeah. So
What was
finally
that
we're
thing?
it's super great.
Well, so you're back. What is it? 14. It's been a while since you've been back.
Yes. Yeah. It's so actually it's nice to be doing shows again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been. It's just so funny. Like the 2 years where I was at home, I got a lot of work done. Got some time with my dogs and the kids. But no, it's nice to be back doing.
And I
all
mean,
shows.
there's a lot of new Turtle stuff coming out.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I grew up with the original run of the Turtle toys, the show, and all that.
Sure.
But the Turtles keep evolving and keep coming back just because it's a fun time in the story. So what's going on with the Turtles now?
Well, that's what's so mind-blowingly humbling and phenomenal, and I guess again mind-blowing is that when we did Peter and I did the original comic book in 1984, we never thought we'd sell out of the first press run of the very first issue. The fact that it went on to be as popular as it was as toys and the cartoon shows and then the movies, what an incredible, awesome ride! And then so we knew it had to end at some point. And then it just seems to have evolved steadily into this generational thing with the new version of the shows. And now, since 2011, I've been back working with IDW in the comic series, the new Nickelodeon cartoon series, some of the new movies. And so it's reached this whole other generation of kids, which is amazing. It's amazing it worked the first time, say, for some of the original fans. And now we have a new group of kids that are finding something appealing about those crazy Ninja Turtles.
Well, the Ninja Turtles, pop culture icons. I mean, let's think about it.
Crazy.
I remember 87, 88 syndication. It came out, the cartoon show, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I have goosebumps because everybody loves ninjas at the time. Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe, right?
Absolutely.
And then Ninja Turtles, and you're like, oh, and they're mutants. Well, this is the coolest thing ever. And I had a black and white TV, so it looked like Michelangelo's thing was yellow. So I literally, for the first month of the show, I thought his bandana was yellow. And I'm like, what? He's orange? Oh my gosh, this is even better. So I just have some of the best memories of doing that. It was my show, like hands down. When the movie came out, we even met some of the actors that played. Ernie Reyes I was a huge Ernie Reyes fan.
Yep.
From knowing him from The Last Dragon.
So sidekicks.
Sidekicks, yeah.
Fantastic. It's great. No, that was what, I think it was exactly what you said, the timeliness of coming up a show like, G.I. Joe, which was one of the more popular cartoons at the time, and, everybody loved Snake Eyes, and like the whole, the covert concept thing. But this was just something that came out of completely left field, and I think people, the original or the first reaction was, teenage what? Teenage what?
Yeah.
So I think that was what, whether you loved it or hated it after you picked it up, there was something about the title that made you pick it up and go, what the hell is this?
Well, and everything 80s, like you look back, everything 80s was ninja driven. Like American Ninja.
True.
Even Chuck Norris, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, Bad Dudes, that cheesy video game, Ninjas Have Kidnapped the President.
So Jim Carter, remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
Like there's
Double
so much
Dragon.
inspiration. Like, what kind of inspired you to go combine all of these crazy things into one concoction?
It was definitely Bruce Lee in a big way. It was Bruce Lee probably at the tippity top, in that I was when I grew up in the East Coast, they used to have, remember, when the neighborhood finally got cable, they would run this, one of the cable stations out of Boston would run on alternating Saturdays, they'd run a martial arts theater where they'd run back-to-back martial arts movies, and then the following weekend they'd run monster movies, which was great, Godzilla's and all that stuff. And so the first time I saw Bruce Lee and was exposed to martial arts, these horribly dubbed movies, but the martial arts was great.
Yeah.
Oh, man, how hard? And then the Kung Fu TV series came out with David Carradine, which is one of Bruce Lee's original creations, as we find out later. But when that came out, that was also fascinating. So I think I was fully hooked at that point. And then so that never went away. But then as things evolved, and one of my favorite comic characters, Daredevil, when Frank Miller came on board, he really brought in that whole aspect of it. Brought in ninjas, the hand, and so many different aspects of crime-based storytelling with and
I will tell you, one of the problems of being an adult is I have access to an Amazon account, so I have an entire Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arsenal at my house right now.
Oh, bless you. That's awesome.
So, what is, if you had to pick
Oh gosh.
What's your favorite turtle? I mean, I know it's like picking your favorite kid.
Yeah.
But like, what's your favorite turtle?
No, it is, as you said, it's sort of like picking your favorite child. That's always a tough thing. But I always, this on my hat here on the company, it was the original, no, it was Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Oh,
yeah, the first doodle, and it was based off that famous Bruce Lee scene with the nunchuck, you know. Whoa! That's the first time we ever saw somebody do that. And so the first sketch back in '84 was, turtle standing upright. He had nunchucks kind of strapped to his hands and a mask on. And that was the one that I said to Peter, I said, this is going to be the next big thing, ha ha ha.
Little did you know, right? Little did you know.
Totally, not a freaking clue. But that evolved from that sketch into 4 turtles with different weapons, and then eventually with the TV show, that's where the different color bandanas came in. So, but it was, if I had to choose one, because again, choosing a favorite child is impossible. But I said, well, if I have to choose one, I'll choose firstborn. So it's Michelangelo.
There it is.
But I love them all dearly, and it's great because each one has a very unique personality. So when you're telling different kinds of stories, it's great to utilize one over the other. But I always loved comics like the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and things where
it's the team and unique powers.
Pulling from different people. Yeah.
Everybody you got an opinion, everybody's got their own opinion how to do something, but when you all join together as a team, success.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, because I see, when I want to be a leader, I'm a lot like Leonardo. You have the temper of Raphael. You want to be Michelangelo, and we all hope that we're smart one day. So, a little Donatello action. But being a John Fine student, I actually have trained in Jiu-Jitsu.
Fantastic.
And I love Bruce Lee. Ted Long trained George Harper. Bruce Lee trained Ted Long, who trained George Harper, who's my senior.
That's awesome.
And so in San Francisco, when I tried to play football, and so Turtles for me, it goes more because it's something that my dad and I even watched. He was like, "Oh yeah, I know you love the Turtles," And then when you brought Slash in, things like that, we're like, "Oh, there's a bigger turtle? What?" And for me, that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was Glenn, and that's one of the things Bruce Lee's philosophy of Jeet Kune Do was very important to me in the early stages in the development of the Turtles because martial arts for the most part I think is a lot of parents immediately think, even when I was growing up, oh, you're just gonna
fight people,
beat people up,
fighting
stuff. When you learn about it's the mental discipline, it's the physical discipline. Know your body, know yourself, know your chi. Exercise. Spiritual. Everything comes together with that, and then.
Well, then be like water because we always get hit by stuff. Like Kobe, we always get hit.
Totally.
So if you can be like water, flow, but then you can drill through stuff. So yeah.
It's a good thing, and I was talking. I'm glad you brought up Ernie. He's one of my favorite people in the world. His father used to run a lot of dojos back in the day, and he said he remembers when he played, he wore the costume of Donatello in the first Turtle movie before he became Kino in the second on screen in front of the camera, but he said lines around the block, all around California, especially any martial arts studio anywhere. He said suddenly it was just huge explosion of events.
I mean, how much involvement in the movies, because obviously the movies kind of went a different route than the comics or the show. I mean, how much kind of did they say, hey, we're thinking about this idea? Like, how much conversation do they have when making the movies? Because obviously, the first one goes one way, then you got Secret of Ooze, then
just
Samurai, and it's like, okay.
Well, luckily back in
which was fun.
Yeah, which was fun. I loved it.
I did too, actually. Yeah.
But no, back in those days, Peter and I were very lucky in that we were mentored by incredible legendary talents like say Jack Kirby and so many other people that built the whole Marvel universe with Stan Lee and for Stan Lee, I should say, in some ways. And a lot of those guys didn't own the rights to the characters that they created. If you worked for a company, whatever you created for the company owned. So a lot of them didn't even profit from the success of the characters. Be able to direct them to where they should be directed as they envisioned them. And so when we created the Turtles, Peter and I owned it, lock, stock, and trademark. So whatever the whole world saw for the first 15 years of Turtles, Peter and I saw it first. We had approval over it, whether it was we worked on the cartoon shows, all 300 episodes, all the movies, we had approval.
That's awesome.
And say so, before people saw what the incredible Jim Henson built for the first Turtle movie, Peter and I saw it and approved it first. We get to work with them, so we approved the script, we approved every component. So I was able to not only direct the characters, so somebody said, well, let's all put them in pink ballerina suits, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's a different look than what we would have imagined.
Like the original Turtles there.
I remember those toys, though.
Oh, yeah, I know. We have those toys, yeah.
I think it wouldn't be surprised they made everything was a turtle toy at some point. But no, that was the great part of owning your characters and owning your creations in those days. I've since sold my rights to the Turtles for 20 years ago, but it was to be able to have that control direct your creation exactly how you want it.
And make sure it feels your vision.
Right, no. It's just to see what you really thought in your head, to see it out there. It's probably rewarding too.
Very rewarding, very
Well, it's
creatively
about
satisfying.
time for you to open this
Yeah,
line.
I'm excited,
It's
yeah.
a big
Line
one.
around the block for
I'm
this
excited.
guy.
So thank you for taking the time to
Absolute
join us.
pleasure.
So
Nice
much,
talking to you guys.
so much.
We'll see you.
So
My
good.
absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you.